Greetings and welcome into Ankh Plays. Thanks for joining me in Dwarf Fortress mode for episode number 75 of our playthrough of Anvilseal. A fortress with 193 dwarves and some pretty cool projects that are going on, if we're being honest. Whoopsies. Right now, it is the 5th of Malachite in the midsummer of the year 65. And we have basically completed several projects. We've taken in several migrant waves. And we've got training. We had some screw up on our military training. And so all of those have been remediated at this point. Things are going really well here. We've killed many forgotten beasts. In fact, do we have... Yeah, we've got a bunch of bones down here that haven't been taken care of, but we've been butchering forgotten beasts and eating them as they've been showing up. And yeah, I mean, just a really great situation for our dwarves to be in. Everything seems to be going very well for us. This is our area for fighting forgotten beasts and our access to the cavern layer. We haven't looked at in the fishing area very much lately, and it looks like not a lot of fishing is going on. I should just check the labor to make sure that we still have fisher dwarves. We do have one, but not... Yeah, we could use another fisher dwarf. I think we're going to go ahead and assign Rimtar Ingishthad as a fisher. I think that should be good. We'll get 2 of them going on that and just double checking the zones here. Yeah, everything's good for fishing. And we've got some work down there. And we've got a little place for dwarves to stay, a dormitory, and then a dining hall down here. So yeah, I think maybe we were running low on fish because we had a dining hall that wasn't, not enough fisher dwarves for 200 dwarves. You want to keep fish coming in. We should actually check to see if we do have fish. No fish, yeah. So, definitely need to do some fishing there, guys. Let's go back down to... I'll find it eventually. Yeah, to our lovely little spot down here. And the temple to the god of war. It's been completed at this point. Bomrek. And if we're being 100% honest, I think it's now time to start establishing these guys here. And these are going to be our dojos. And so some of you might be asking, well, what do you mean when you say dojo? Well, this idea that I read about, and I thought it was interesting, so I want to give it a try. And I've never tried it before. But basically what you do is you create a barracks, like so. And once that barracks is completed, then you're going to establish a squad. We're going to call this, instead of Dojo 1, we're going to call it the Northwest Dojo. Now, what this is going to do is you'll notice we can assign squads here. So instead of assigning a squad to actually train, we are going to create a new squad. And it's going to be a new militia captain. And there's going to be no uniform. And then we're going to let's see. We're going to make these backgrounds... No, let's make the background white. And the symbol black. Thought I clicked on the symbol, but I guess I did not. I forgot you could actually name these. So Training Squad 1 is basically going to be assigned to this dojo here. And they're not going to stay here, but they will train here. And since they don't have equipment or anything like that, all we have to do is just have them train in the Northwest Dojo. Okay, so now, what's the point of this? Well, we can take dwarves who want to have fighting or martial training or excitement, and we can put them into this squad and then basically make them train a couple of times a year, preferably off schedule from everybody else, and hopefully that helps satisfy some of their needs. So that's what we're going to do. We've got to assign a leader to the squad first, and I think that it's this first one is going to kind of be honorary, but there's going to be a bunch of dwarves in this squad. So we'll make the leader Dabbles, because he does want to fight. And, oh, you know what? We can't actually make him a leader, is what it looks like. Okay. But we can make Kib a leader. Yeah. So the mayor can be a leader. We'll make the mayor a leader. We can put Dabbles in here. Then we're going to assign position 3. And we're looking for Dumat Wield-Talked. I think he's actually in the Golden Axes already. So let's skip him for now. And I'm looking for Kib Seal Gems. Okay. Let's pause this real quick. And let's find some dwarves here. So we have a bunch of Dumats. I think this is Craft Blizzards. Yeah, okay, so he's already in the military. He's been taken care of. Let's do Kib Seal Gems next. Let's find him. I think that's... Yeah, it is Herdslayer. Now, Herdslayer, I think he was in the military at one point. Gembish Kadal. And it didn't do very well. But we'll put him in for now. We want to add Illidan. And Legend Carver. Legend Carver's already in the Stone Axes, though, so that's not going to work. We'll go with, let's see, Cogsack and Lore are next. There's only one Cogsack. Seal Arch, we have... It looks like our Surgeon. Let's double check. I wrote down the wrong surname. Yeah, Steel Arch. Okay, so he's been taken care of. And then let's just double check that Cogsack is also assigned here. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. The king wants us to build some stuff, so we'll take a brief side quest to do that. And His Excellency wants 3 pair, so we'll do 3 pair. There we go. You're taken care of. And back over here to our... And then we do have Ashmaker. And Ashmaker actually got onto this list pretty recently. Unless I miss my guess. So let's add Ashmaker. Seabrook Astelmistum. And then we're just going to find 2 other dwarves that want combat training, who are in kind of the grouchy mood. And, well, let's say perhaps not those, because we've taken them off of combat and they are already in the military. But we've got a whole bunch of new dwarves, and maybe they could use it. Everyone else seems to be fine. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at Shorest. Wants to practice the skill. Yeah, let's use Shorest. Una Blular. And then we've got 2 more positions. Maybe not. Here's a trader. She wants to fight. Xenophodil or Fountain Lantern. We'll do 2 Shorests right next to each other. And then we'll go ahead and find 1 more dwarf. Now, as we find more, we'll create additional barracks and additional squads. And the only thing that these squads are going to be doing is training. To basically satisfy these dwarves' needs. I think Sheriff wants to be... Oops. She has had some problems lately. Not the happiest dwarf in the bunch. She wants martial training. You get that last spot, Sheriff. Congratulations. Excellent. Alright, so let's get a schedule going for these guys. And we want to view their monthly schedule, which is all off duty. We're going to go with... once a quarter. Which is every 3rd month. So quarterly training. Wish they would copy over, but that's okay. Lovely. All right. And we'll check in on them in a month or 2 here to see how they're doing. Now, I've begun to start keeping track of all of our visitors, and I've come to the realization that that is not going to be practical by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be a lot of lines of text that are meaningless. So instead of writing down every time we get a visitor, I'm going to just check to see which visitors we need or which visitors are new. And if we have a new visitor, that will be when we make note of it. So I guess I can make the remainder of these barracks, just to say that we've completed them. And we'll use these, of course. We'll definitely be using them. When we start using them will just depend on how many needy dwarves we have, really. Somehow we managed to get one little piece outside. Seabrick wants us to make some stuff. Definitely training on the Axe Dwarf side, which is great. And we see some folks in there already doing martial training. Here comes another one to join them. Illidan. Lovely. Another one with a baby. The Clothier. Kogzak, Root Shield, and Tosid. Very recently born. Are you guys actually supposed to be training right now? So it is Midsummer Malachite. And they have no orders, no training orders. So they're just in there of their own accord. They've got some time to do it, I suppose. So we've got our dojos up and running, and we just need to maintain these, which should be pretty straightforward. But I do like the way that this turned out. We've kind of got our clothing industry here. This is a guild hall. This is the Miners Guild Hall. And did we... Whoops. Yeah, Bomrek the Outrageous Cuts. Okay, so everybody's fine there. I'm kind of looking around, and I don't really see a need to expand this area anymore, just yet. Whoops. If we zoom out just a little bit, there is quite a bit of usable space in this area. But it gets further and further away from that central shaft, which is something that I think I'm definitely wanting to avoid. And so, is this child just playing? Yes, okay. And so we've got kind of another area that I would like to begin working on. And that would be a library. There's not a lot of books here because we are in the first few years. And so I think that this fortress has the opportunity to maybe put out some books of its own. Tough and high stamina, huh? Well, that's strong. Whoops. Let's see here. Hey, keeper. Tough and high stamina. 2 years old. Yeah, we'll butcher them. What we really want is cows that are like that. And so the question becomes, where do we want to put the library? Like, where's the ideal place for the library to be? And we've got temples. We kind of can't really go up too terribly much. We could build something off of here. And we could build, a facility here. But I actually kind of think that bringing it down a little bit into the mountain somewhere is a little bit better of a choice. And I can't help but think that maybe this area in here is not a bad place for consideration. The other thing that we do have is if we go further down the central shaft, this is our main work area. Then we've got, that central thing. We could start expanding this area or this area out potentially to work in between the volcanoes. And, I'm kind of interested in a clean slate. And so maybe we'll get our miners... Maybe we'll get them digging in this area. I kind of do like that. Just making sure that we're not digging into Noshtath or Idgim here. Oops. And you never know what you're going to find in this area either, so kind of like that as an option. It's not too low in the fortress. We still have plenty of space to make something cool. And we won't go too far close to this area, but there is some turquoise clusters there. Oh man, everybody's got a mandate. All right. And yeah, I think kind of digging this area out is a good start. I don't know that we're going to use it, but I just like to see what it's like. I'd like to get the feel for the space. Now, we need to do a lot of things in order to get a functioning library up and running. Not the least of which would be some type of paper industry. And then, of course, you know, there's all kinds of other things that go with that. Supporting industries, at least. So, I haven't worked out in my mind exactly how we're going to do that. But we're going to have a whole bunch of dwarves down here digging for quite some time. The other thing that we could do is we could dig for the second cavern layer. And I think I would like to do that this episode as well. Or at least get it started. So as we go down, here's the throne room. And, you know, I didn't really think about this, but, you know, the option to put a library near the throne room is not a bad one. So I haven't fully decided on level 53 as the point for our library. It's just a solid maybe right now. Okay, so as we drop further down, we need to keep in mind that we're looking for the second cavern layer. And everything kind of drops away there. We've got our kill box, and then we start going down deeper into the mountain. And this shaft actually goes quite a ways. And unless I'm mistaken, it actually ends, yeah, right here. And so we also probably could dig something out here, perhaps. Or something here. Would not be a bad idea. Just so that we can airlock it, right? And I think we're going to do that. The miners are going to be very, very busy. But I kind of just want to get this project started. Dabbles is now demanding a bed. And then we also have this other project, kind of as we work our way down here, that you may have noticed that there's a whole bunch of gold that's in this area. There's a lot of it. And that gold isn't just in this area. I believe it's down here as well. There's a lot of it down here. And so it might actually be a good idea for us to attempt to drain this area and flow it off the map in some way. I'm not entirely certain how we would do that. Because I guess we would just have to dig a big tunnel that would connect back here. So what's above this? We could do a lot of work right in this area. And let's go ahead and go ahead and level some of this out. This is going to be low priority work, especially since we've got miners that already have quite a bit of work to do. But, you know, we started digging through this, and I just want to keep doing that. My gosh. Oops, I had to made 10 beds. My bad. But yeah, so this is the area that we want to drain, right down here. And if we could drain this, a lot of this is outside of our sphere of influence, our territory of control. But we could establish something down here. And I'm thinking like right in this area. because then we could just dig an open moat type of trench here. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so let's zoom out just a little bit. That's too much. This keeps going down to this level and stops. So I think what we could do is we could actually take this tunnel, or this stairwell, and put an access tunnel over here. And once we've got that carved out, then we are going to just go right all the way on over to the edge of the map. I want to make sure that this is too tall, just like that. And then we're going to butt up against this area right here. Now, we don't really need these stairs, so I'm actually going to have the miners come down here and destroy these. Destroy these. There we go. And then what we can do is we'll just be able to carve right... Oh, it's right on the wall. Darn. Interesting. Well, we might actually break this wall open. And then we can carve something out of it. And that will allow us to drain this area to get the gold. Because we love gold. And that pyramid took us a lot of gold. Okay, we're banning exports. That's no problem. So yeah, lots of new plans kind of as we're turning over here into episode 75. I want to get as much of that started as possible. Yeah, we're starting on this access tunnel here. We also need to go to here at priority 2. And we basically want to open this entire thing up here. So from here, from there to there, and actually one more. It'll be clear why in just a moment. But we're going to basically take this stuff down because we don't need it anymore. There is an additional wall here that kind of cuts up to the ceiling, so we'll have to be careful with how this works. We want to make sure that we keep it secure. But this will be an area where we can now carve this out, and then we'll just throw a floor down on top of it if we need to. But we're gonna take this wall and we're gonna move it one space out. Excuse me. Okay. So while they're working on that, we've got this new area here. We can build some doors and put doors down on this. And then this is going to be our stairwell deeper into the cavern. We're going to go out to -50 here. And I'm just going to be cognizant of the fact that we've got this little area here, this little tunnel that kind of drops down, and there's some pyrite, some relatively interesting gems and whatnot down here. Actually, there's some nice alexandrite. But we can actually kind of get at this from a little bit further level down. And I'm wondering if we'll find that cavern layer. So that's a lot of digging for our dwarves to handle right now. Especially since we don't have these doors set up. Because we do want to airlock this. I also think I want to put some doors here. And the reason for that is so that we can kind of cordon some of these spaces off. Lots of doors will make it really easy for us to control beasts that come down here. Do granite blocks. I think that should be fine. So yeah, lots of work getting busy in the caverns. We also could potentially establish a spider silk gathering setup down here in order to collect the spider silk webs. So I think I'd like to do that. It's been on my mind for a while, and I'm just kind of now voicing it to you all. And you know, just to get another type of cloth available in the fortress. We're going to actually cancel that one for the moment. But yeah, they're hard at work digging this all out. And it looks like this is going to require additional mining here. With the tetrahedrite probably not mattering, but we definitely want to get the emeralds out of there. And since this is native silver, at least some of it is. Again, with a native silver. But yeah, this will be a drain. It's going to go all the way to the end of the map. We're going to make it... We might actually make it wider. I don't see why not. Let's do that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then we'll just run this entire thing off the map, so it'll be 4 wide. It's not going to need to be that wide. Hey! Tosid Katakodin. Say that 5 times fast. He's headed out to pick up some equipment, asking himself, why should I help? Yeah, that's basically everybody. Scaly rope. Yeah, toasted scaly rope becoming a child. Watching a performance. Interested in watching a performance. What is this guy's personality? Mother and father, Kogzak. Oh, okay. So she's down there training. And in fact, his dad is down there as well. In our training Yeah, interesting. He is hateful. Hateful rainbow worshiper. There he is. He's off. Off he's going here. I think his parents are right here. Yep. Look at that. He ran off. Okay, we got most of our doors installed. We'll dump that. Another granite block wall right here. And now we can basically just run this however we want. Are you playing Flower? She's 6 years old now. Such a cutie. Yeah, and we've got a bunch of granite here. A bit more tetrahedrite to haul out. I think what we'll do too, we should probably check to make sure that this isn't going to just continue to fill up. Because then we've just created a river, if that makes sense. And I think, as we look through here, that I don't see any sources for this water. It's fairly... It's nestled up against Noshtath, I think. I'm sorry, Idgim. You'd think I'd be able to keep these volcanoes straight, you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's looking like it's just once this water drains, that'll be it. And then we can probably go about securing this. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So, yeah, let's make an access shaft that we can just walk down here, because we'll definitely want to come back in here, which means we're going to do some stair mining. And maybe this is the right place to do it. Let's just cut away this area once again. And we'll definitely wait until, you know, most of this is done. Whoops. We'll deal with the bull in a second. And I was thinking about trying to route this off the edge of the map to the north. That's also an idea. It's not a bad idea either. We do have all of that area secure. It looks like we've got trogs in this area here. And they definitely can get around and into this area. So once we kind of open it up, we'll definitely have to be careful. But yeah, kind of once we break all of this out, then we'll definitely... We'll definitely make sure that we kind of even things up a little bit. But it'll take a while. It'll take a while for this to drain. And we'll certainly want access to it once again. Considerate. Oh boy. More mandates. The mandates are coming thick and fast this episode, you guys. Make some granite toys, guys. Yeah, horn silver along here. But yeah, this is making great progress. I don't think that they've started on the stairwell down. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Oh, no, they have. It certainly has begun. We've got some milk opals that are popping out there. We're only to minus 18, so our target is minus 50 on that front. So we've got a little ways to go on that. And certainly there's no rush to this. This has all been secure, so we're actually ready to release the water at some point. We just need to get this area cleared. And I think instead of doing it that way, that's going to make the dwarves have to walk a lot further. So what we're going to do is we'll do a stairwell from here down. And that'll actually aid in taking stuff out of this cavern. As you'll notice that we've got a lot of stuff to dig out here. And so there's going to be countless dwarves with wheelbarrows coming down. We have to be careful that we don't connect these two, or that's going to be a little bit of a inconvenience. I don't really want that to happen, even though it looks like some of these veins are going to go all along that area. So yeah, so here's our there's our pathing. That's going to look really nice once it's done. It'll cut off on quite a bit of walking. This is kind of just like an access point for this big lake here, which is just going to stay like this. I have no intention, no plans of making any changes to this. This was such an ordeal a few episodes ago to get everything taken care of and get these two water sources isolated from one another. And, you know, we actually did a really great job kind of patching this area up. Really stripped mined this all the way down to the bare bones. There's some cassiterite there that I suppose we could grab. There's some hematite. And I suppose it doesn't matter if these two areas interact with one another, because this is all secure now. It's almost all secure. My goodness, I'm glad I saw that. Somebody go up there and build that thing, please. Let's make these top priority. They don't mind doing that, so moods are starting to crawl out. I'm trying to get all of the dwarves into the happy area and just our grouchy dwarves in the middle. That'd be a big accomplishment for a fortress like this, since I haven't ever accomplished that in Dwarf Fortress. So, you know, I don't profess to be, you know, a master Dwarf Fortress player. That's certainly not my claim to fame. So can't get up there. Why can't they get up there? Weird. So to start it from one level down. Was there supposed to be an upstairs there? Okay, so this definitely does want to link up along with this here. And so since this area seems to be so rich in ores and gems, specifically the tetrahedrite and cassiterite, it's been pretty lucrative there. Let's throw a hatch on this. Oops. Boy, I picked the wrong time to click there, but we'll put a hatch there. And then I'll probably just wall off the stairwell. And that's the four-way stairwell that comes down a little bit further to the north there. And the reason that we'll do that is so that we can just carve out. We won't even really probably need to... Well, I'm sure we will, actually, but we won't really need to do as much excavation down here. Like, we can just go in through here and... we can build a wall here out of granite, a wall here out of granite, and a wall here out of granite. Then this whole area is isolated, and then we can actually mine this all out because it seems like we're getting a lot of really, like, obviously these connect here, right? So then all of a sudden, obviously these connect. So instead of building a whole bunch of extra walls to kind of shore all of this up, we won't have to do that. And instead, we'll just kind of make this entire area just kind of mined out. Looks like we're back over to orthoclase here. With some cobaltite, actually. That's kind of nice. But yeah, we won't cut into this until such a time as we've got all of this secured. There's not a real good... There isn't a good reason to do it otherwise. We'll just make a little bit of these... a few of these transitions a little bit more gradual. Just in case we find anything else, you know? There we go. Seems like, I don't know, in my mind it helps the water flow a little bit better. It's not getting caught up on stuff. Let's go back down over here and make sure that this is all getting closed off. So everything looks good there. Now we have to wait until that's actually built. Make sure we got our, yeah. Dabble's got his toys. Let's check on the progress for this tunnel. It's marked for a job. Okay. I'm guessing we didn't go any further, although it does look like... Wow. Okay, so still, we're just hitting the bottom now. So that's the very bottom of that shaft. And that is certainly... This is cavern layer 3. I'm tempted. We haven't really seen the second cavern layer, but this shaft is actually pretty secure. So I'm kind of tempted to just push this maybe 10 levels at a time. in digging down to the third cavern layer. And the reason that I think we can do that is because if we don't hit the second cavern layer, that's okay. We'll definitely start sending some feelers out to where we think it is. But there might not be a second cavern layer on this map. And we'll just start slowly going down to the third cavern layer. The third cavern layer is where a lot of the Forgotten Beasts have been spawning. And it would be nice to get down there. We certainly don't need the lava, obviously. But it would be nice to get down there and kind of get some control over that area. It's a long-term goal. It's not something that is going to be happening, you know, in the next episode or two. But it's certainly something that we can start, like, making little baby steps towards. Okay, we've got some shorls here. Niece. Seabrick wants... We got another dwarven child here. Lots of dwarven childs. 3 puzzle boxes this time. Gosh. God bless it, Seabrick. So we have to make 30 toys. It's usually like, it seems like it's like less than a 20% chance for a random dwarf to make a puzzle box. So you have to make a whole bunch of toys in order to get that to happen. So usually what I end up doing is I end up making 10 times the number. Kivish de Cost Dalzat. He is going to pick up equipment. I'm sorry, she is going to pick up equipment. Mom and Dad. Oh, this is the princess. Kivis Floormash. Floormash. She's the first princess of Anvilseal. Interesting. Well, we should probably note this, because Kivish is... And we're going to give her a nickname, too, I think. But she is the first princess of Anvilseal. Wow. Well, the queen gets to put her down. Doesn't have to carry her around. Big family, obviously, in the fortress here. Low willpower and recovers slowly. She has a good feel for music and a good feel for social relationships, a shortage of patience, and a bad kinesthetic sense and large deficit of willpower. She's very private, is often sad and dejected, has a low sense of self-esteem. You're a princess. She's the first princess. That's what we're going to call her. Can you believe that? Wow. Her sprite hasn't even changed yet. So it looks like it's just a baby walking around. I'd just as soon have nothing too exciting happen. I understand. I think she's going to go pick up some clothes here. Yeah. We're going to go pick up a whole bunch of stuff here. Shoes and socks and gloves and a coat and dress and a trouser and a trouser. A pair of trousers. All legendary pigtail. And off she goes, yeah. What are you gathering now? Getting some shoes? Fantastic. She's headed on out to pick up some additional equipment here. You were just down here. You could have just picked that up earlier. What are you grabbing now? Was she crying? A hood? And she's going to play with the granite puzzle box. Lovely. Vibrant green gauntlets. Gauntlets, rings. Words of the Murky Shadow. The Bells of Amethyst. Where is your knowledge, dear? Oh yeah, she knows some music and dance already. Well, the first princess of Anvilseal is well on her way. That's exciting. It'll be interesting to watch her grow up as we continue with the fortress. Let's see if we made it further down here, shall we? Not very far. We're still kind of digging out the remaining part of this cavern over here. Oh, yeah, that looks really good. We still do have quite a bit of ore to mine out here, and we have to be careful that these two don't connect. So we're gonna do that very gingerly. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to make this a big carve out. Lots of pulling stuff out of here still going on. We'll go with some cobaltite. We can carve some fortifications now. Eventually I'll pick the right one for fortification carving. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, and then we can just open this up as soon as... I could suppose we could make a gate here, but I don't think that's too big of a concern. We're just going to keep digging around here until we've kind of taken care of everything. Wow, so that's a lot of stuff. Let's see where we're at with our library, with where we would potentially put our library. And as you can see, this is lower priority, so we've actually not made too much progress on this, besides the dwarves actually coming in and retrieving all of the boulders and ore and gemstones that we dug up here, which is fine. I'm not in a big hurry to get the library going. I would like to get it going here in the next year or two. but I'm expecting that the fortress is going to grow a little bit. And we actually might get a trade here as well. We've got early autumn coming along. Hall of Remembrance is full, guys. We can't lose any more dwarves. Bunch of people digging into the royal booze stock. That's hilarious. Clean that up. Yeah, lots of wheelbarrows. This is a long, long trip. Let's see here. So, a couple of other things we can probably assure ourselves of is this area is rather difficult to get to. And the only place that it's going to be attainable once it's drained is this area that we'll have to secure between Idgim and Noshtath, this kind of narrow area. And then we could actually open this entire wall all the way up. I don't think we'll do that, but it's just kind of another area that we can cordon things off, you know. So we'll keep that in mind as things get pulled out of here and dug out. We still have some kind of high priority digging to do here. We'll just go like that. Once again, shaving this off. Nice and gradual. Oh, that's lovely. That's an interesting notification. Let me get this taken care of, and then we'll dig into what that just said. Pun intended. There we go. Oops. We've got this excavated out so darn much at this point. There's almost no reason to put the drain on the side of the map, you know? Like, if we're being 100% honest here, like, this turned into a much larger excavation than I would have expected. Okay, so a caravan from Tamar to 10 has arrived. The presence of your ruler has attracted great riches. Overall, trade sentiments are good. Okay, so that means we do have a caravan that's on its way in. So let's head upstairs. And let's try and find our caravan here. So we do have wagons that are coming onto the map. Excellent. Okay, I thought I was a little worried last time because we didn't really see any way. Yeah, everything's opened up, so that's good. But we didn't really see any way for. I thought that we gave them enough room here, but I was a little worried that maybe there wasn't enough room. But it seems like we do have some wagons that are approaching. They're probably going to have to go all the way around here. Part of me thinks that it might be good to make a little kind of a walk around here at maybe a lower height. Or maybe the same height. I don't know. But I do want to make sure that the wagons get in here. Frail and clumsy. Tender and tasty is what I would say. There goes the diplomat. She's headed out. Okay, so they are coming down. We'll just follow these guys for a little bit. I'm genuinely curious as to which direction they're going. Because it seems like they're not really headed towards the entrance just yet. Oh, looks like they made the corner. They've made the turn. Horses and oxen pulling those wagons. Just duck down here real quick. We're down to like negative 55. Okay. So the digging is going very well through here. We keep keep finding more in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to strip mine this entire area out. We can't go any further there. But yeah, we'll just narrow this down because we got the indigo tourmalines there. Some banning going on. Nothing that we can't handle. Yeah, oh sweet, look at that. We came right up at the perfect time to see the wagons making their way into Anvilseal. A welcome sight indeed. And they are unloading their goods. So this is when we get to kind of shine here and move some trade goods. The wagons are back, though, guys. That's really a fantastic story. I'm very happy about that. We darn near crashed there. So we're going to sell a bunch of stuff that... going to sell a bunch of stuff that is no longer viable. And at this point, I'm kind of just doing this to make sure that we get rid of everything. Look at all of this. Oh my god. And the last time we did this, if you recall, we had like 2,000 odd items to sell off. You know what? I've got a better idea. We're going to sell all of the chest armor. And then the stuff that we want to keep, like we'll keep maybe 30 of them. But look at all of these. So that's 50 dresses that we've kept. We're going to get rid of everything else. We'll keep the... So we need to keep some cloaks or coats. Okay, so we've got our pigtail coats. Okay, so we do need to keep some cloaks as well. It's probably 51. But this is going to be several hundred items here as well. And I think that's where we'll leave it. Okay, we'll get rid of the shoes too. So many shoes. And then we're just going to have to start selling down. And I think what I also need to do... Sadly, we're getting rid of the honey badger stuff there. I noticed that as it's passing by. We also need to set some limits on how much our clothing industry can output, because it's really causing problems. So we do have pigtail shoes, and let's mark some of these out. Probably an extra shoe that we didn't need to sell. And yeah, let's leave it at that. That's a lot. Yeah, that's 2,500 items. Okay, so we're coming down to the end of this episode, and we've got plenty of dwarves who we're not going to get that many. We're not going to get that much stuff up here in the amount of time that we have to do any trading. That's absolutely certain. So we're going to do what we can, and then we are going to set some hard limits on how many more clothes our clothiers can manufacture, because this is starting to get... It's just untenable. It's not going to work. You know, it's that's too many. Oh my god. We'll see how many we get. But yeah, we still got traders coming in, so we don't need to ask them to to start trading or anything like that. We actually didn't... We needed to do these... get those engraved. And we need to figure out a place to put these in lunite pedestals. I'm kind of thinking along here. This is a nice area. We get a whole bunch of them. I don't know what we'll put on them. Beautiful. We'll get those out of the way so that this isn't quite as ugly. It's another Elunite pedestal that has not been removed. It's because this is a legendary bin, an artifact layer level bin. Okay, so early autumn, we've got a whole bunch of dwarves bringing a whole bunch of clothing out. And like I said, I'm going to make some changes to our clothing industry. I always wanted to be overproducing. Like, I really wanted to have just as many clothes. The dwarves are just going to want for nothing as far as clothes are concerned. However, we have put ourselves into a significant hole in this fortress, in that we have so many textile items that it's, I don't know if it actually showed up in the recording, but we have too many, and it's making it so that I can't even look at the stocks. There's just that many of them. So we can take comfort in the fact that Anvilseal will never want for clothes again, which is what I ultimately wanted to do. I really did want that to happen. But I might have let it go, just a hair too far. Because, see, this isn't going to get worked on, which is fine. Letting it go like that, it probably went for too long. And that's unfortunate. What kind of gems are these? Kunzite? Nice. Okay. For those of you unfamiliar who have been watching this long with Dwarf Fortress, it's worth noting that all of the materials that are found in this game are actually found on Earth somewhere. Gosh, we made 30 of those things and we didn't get... Okay, so we want some gauntlets and some puzzle boxes. Let's go check on this. We're not quite done yet. Okay, we will get that done. Let's make a pair of iron gauntlets. So we're very close to... Well, I mean, we're pretty much there. But we're going to see how many trading items... If we can get down below 2,000... Keep in mind, this is just shoes, dresses, coats, and some socks. And it's not even any of the stuff that we have in the dump zone right here. Which just makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh. Gosh, that is insane. That is so many clothes. So many clothings. That's really absurd. So yeah, we've done 500 items at this point. I'm just hoping that they, once we get down below 2,000 here, I'll ask the broker to be at the trade depot so that we can do our trade. And I'm actually contemplating doing that off screen because it's just an absolute slog. Yeah, 1900. Fath is having a drink. Our Axe Dwarves are really doing some good training. Once Fath is done drinking, I mean, we brought almost 800 items out. Fath is now socializing. You've been asked to be at the trade depot there, Fath. Now he's coming. You can see him. He's right here. Attaboy. Hey, Illidan has become a wrestler. That's great. So we're going to have Fath stand here for a little bit. And we are at 700, roughly 700 items. If we can get 1,000 items out in this trade, I think I'm setting a goal that's a little bit too high. But if we can get down below 1,500 of these items, then we can definitely pump the brakes on our textile industry. I think at the end of 65 too, we're probably going to have to take the golden axes off of such an aggressive training schedule. Yeah, they're on quarterly training, but golden axes are 2 on 1 off, which is admirable. That's a good thing, but it's not ideal for those dwarves' mental health. And we do want to stay on top of that. Okay, we might actually get to 1,000. I'm holding out hope here. The entire fortress has basically rallied around getting as many of our clothes out, and Zantergembish has become the textile capital of the world, at least in the southern hemisphere. I don't even know if we can trade all of these items too. That's the other thing that I haven't really taken into consideration here. So I'm definitely hoping that we can get as many of them out the door as possible. Anything above anything above 1,000 is just going to be kind of gravy. And it looks like we're approaching that right now. And the number's dwindling down. If we can get below 15, I might just go ahead and start the trade as we close out the episode. Actually, you know what? This is kind of boring anyways. If there is something crazy that happens while we are trading, then I will certainly stop, and we'll include that in episode number 76. But for the time being, we're going to conclude episode number 75 right here and right now as the dwarves continue to build to bring as many things out to the trade depot as possible. And yeah, we'll leave it at that as we cross over the 1,500 item threshold. Thanks for joining me here in Anvilseal, Dwarf Fortress, in the Fortress mode. It's pretty cool. As you go on about your day, don't forget to hit someone with a little bit of kindness. And we will see you next time.